Hey, so some weird stuff kept happening to me and I didn't really know what to do, so I just recently quit my job at Chick-fil-A. This is going to be fairly long with a lot of context, so I'm sorry in advance. I was working there for over a year before Amanda was hired. One day, on the day she arrived, honestly, everything was great. Amanda seemed super sweet. She was great on primary fries, so quick, which is exactly what we needed as we were getting low on BOH staff and everyone hates fries. After just a few days of working with her on Tuesday, Wednesday, and again on Friday about 2 months ago, I thought we were kind of friends, honestly. So of course I asked her to lunch for Saturday. No, not romantic or anything, but she declined and made a whole bunch of weird excuses, including, well, I think there may be spiders there. And at first I just kind of thought she was arachnophobic. I don't know. Well, one day a few weeks ago was really what clued me in that something was seriously wrong with this girl. She and I were working prep, and honestly, it was a really relaxed day, and there were two of us, so it was super easy. Prep was where we made salads and wraps and stuff, if you're unfamiliar. But she kept slapping and scratching at her arms and legs, and then she looked over and smiled and said, "I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day." I figured that she had some mental illness like my cousin does, and she says that sometimes when she's kind of all over the place and not really there, really struggling. So of course, I tried to support her and just laughed it off, and I told her that we all have bad days, and I think that was actually Monday, okay? So on Wednesday, I worked with her again, but this time she was super weird. More than last time, I don't know. Amanda would frequently stare into space. She would mumble to herself. She went through these periods where she would scratch at herself or shake violently. I asked if she needed help, and she nodded. I asked if she wanted me to call someone to come pick her up or if I should get the manager, Ross. She told me Ross was evil and that I should stay away from him. But I didn't listen, and I was convinced that she was schizophrenic or something and having a bad day. From there, it only got weirder. She told me that Ross was, and I actually do quote, king of the spiders. I had worked with Ross since I got there, and although there had been some weird stuff that happened when I first started working there, we were friends now, and I hung out with him countless times. Of course, now it really all makes sense. Because you see, when I first met Ross, honestly, he's always been a huge fan of spiders, and he's always had a thing for them. I knew he had a collection of them, but I didn't understand just how far it all went. Well, we were okay after I asked him a few times to keep his hobbies separate from work, and he stopped pestering me with random spider facts and gross mental imagery. But Amanda apparently liked spiders too, until she started working here. So of course, when Ross asked Amanda if she wanted to see a very rare tarantula, I don't know the type for you spider lovers out there, sorry, Amanda agreed to ride with him to his house to see a crappy $8,000 invertebrate. Let me remind you, she knew him for less than 3 days at this time. Amanda wouldn't say anything about what happened at his house, but she was not okay. Whatever he did has seriously and detrimentally damaged her mentally. And the scary thing is, I think it affected me too. Well, of course, people started throwing around allegations of what could have happened, yet I and my coworkers were left there at Chick-fil-A, at the mercy of Ross. But that's actually when things got the weirdest, because you see, that Wednesday was the day where I actually had to leave work early to drive Amanda to the hospital. She was in the psychiatric ward trying to work through whatever happened at Ross's house. The whole thing was about 2 weeks ago. From that moment on, I've seen countless spiders at Chick-fil-A. I've stepped on dozens. I see them out of the corner of my eye before they disappear. Sometimes I feel them on my neck, and then they're gone just like that. I don't know, it's so weird. Am I just paranoid now? I've even had to throw out batches of waffle fries at work because I keep finding dozens of huge spiders, wolf spiders, or even black widows, and they keep getting in the oil somehow. So I lift the fry baskets up and set them on that bar thingy, and there's usually this nasty popping sound as dying fried widow spiders jerk and twitch their legs pointlessly. For real, I dropped a batch once during a busy moment at about 6 p.m., and several big black spiders, all disfigured, all gooey, writhed in the grease amongst the fries. I had to drop more, and people had to wait several minutes for more fries. Even weirder, though, is when I went on break and Ross took over, and I came back about 30 minutes later to find him staring directly at me while working, and hard working. We were busy. And I could have sworn, I genuinely mean it, that I really thought that there is a black widow emerging from his eye. Well, it literally looked like his lower eyelid was pulled down as several legs emerged, and then a flattened spider's body slipped out slowly, and it gained its body width as it emerged, kinda. I don't know how to explain it. You just have to see it. So last week I was freaking out, and I hated having to go to work or see Ross at all. It also felt like the whole place was infested with spiders, but nobody did anything or said anything about it. The whole place just gives me the creeps, and I dreaded going in there again. I've decided I'm not ever going back for any reason, even to buy their food. As the amount of spiders I've seen in those fries, it grosses me out beyond belief. I officially quit yesterday morning as I dropped off my uniform and let my boss know. I know it's awful to not put in my 2 weeks, but I can't stand it there. I let my boss know that it was me and not the business, though I didn't tell him about my total paranoia and newfound spider hatred. The other thing is that the very second I left the building, I got the call that Amanda died that morning after suffering from a serious allergic reaction to a bug bite. I hope that was the right thing to do. To leave Chick-Fil-A like that with no other job lined up, without putting my 2 weeks in. I couldn't stand it anymore. I was so torn. Right now, I'm still trying to understand what that was that I just experienced. Is Ross really some kind of spider king?